with dear friend Ami Kothari. So, just to give a quick introduction, firstly, very warm welcome to everyone. My name is Vibha Kagzi. I'm the founder and chief education officer at reachiv.com. And as you know, we kickstarted House of Experts, a series to bring forth to you the journeys of many, many experts. And foremost among those in the field of table styling is Ami Kothari, who has done, believe it or not, over 220 workshops in a combination of online and offline formats across the world. She's also been featured in several top publications, such as the Indian Express, India Today, Femina, and a small feature in Vogue as well. Ami has an absolutely creative flair, which, if you're fortunate enough to attend one of her workshops or be present at one of her events, you will know what I mean. But for right now, I'm going to have a conversation with the expert herself. So, Ami, very warm welcome to House of Experts. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you, Vibha. Thank you so much for having me here.
Okay, superb. All right, so I mean, let's kickstart with my favorite question since we run an education advisory. I always like to flash back to early years and your childhood. So if you could just flash back to your childhood and tell us a bit about, how was life growing up?
Sure. I've spent most part of my childhood in Bombay. So I've grown up in Bombay, studied in Bombay. I uh, I lived in a joint family, which definitely worked to my advantage because there was so much to always learn from everyone, right, Baba? Different generations have different things to offer. And growing up, both my grandmoms were very creative. They were very creative in the kitchen. They were very good with stitching. I'd come up with, oh, I want this fancy compass box. And my grandmom would just remove some fabrics and she would open her machine, sewing machine, and she would make the pockets that I would want. And, also planning on things that you want and getting it executed. Um, I think it has played a role somewhere in my life. And, even back then, when mom and grandmom used to entertain at home, uh, it wasn't just getting dishes out. There was thought process going to it. My favorite among everything that they made was, and this is back in the 80s, huh?
Wow,
So
okay.
yeah, so they made some like gift, like, so this they made a sandwich, okay, and then they made a dough which is pink and green, and then they tied a ribbon with the dough and did the bow. And so,
Okay.
even back then they were very creative. So I think I've grown up seeing a lot of creativity. My dad has an eye for detail. So, just a combination of all of that, I think has nurtured me and made me the
Okay.
person I am today.
So sounds like lots of early influences from a creative space. Grandmothers, your mom, your dad. So how did you get started? Did you go to sort of design school? Did you get a degree in art? Like, is there some sort of formative education that led to sprucing up your creative side?
So, no, Vibha. I did my bachelor's in social work, something absolutely
Oh,
not connected. I think from very early years, I knew I wanted to do something in education and kids. So I kind
oh,
of geared my education towards that. First 10 years of my career, I was actually working with special needs children. I was teaching, and uh, yeah, so I didn't really. I did a MA and BS, Bachelor's in Social Work, so nothing to do. I haven't been to a design school.
okay, wow. So this makes it even more interesting. So it's not a formal education in the space. So how did you enter the space? So what happens? Tell us the story. You spend most of your
Uh,
time wanting to work with children. I know you did something with special needs children. How did the transition happen for you?
so I was on a break from work, and we actually entertain a lot at home. So this just came very naturally to me, and Also trying to use only what I have at home. So even if it's like just 3 or 4 dinner sets that I had at that time, but we'd entertain like 3 or 4 times a week, right? So you want to make your table look different each time. You want your guests to feel special every time. So I think I just went on innovating in my styles, and my friends really appreciated that. And that actually they forced me to do my first workshop, and
Wow.
that's honestly how I started my first workshop.
Okay,
Uh,
amazing. Sounds completely organic. Sounds like something you had a natural flair for. So, if you don't mind, if you could just sort of break it down for the uninitiated, right? What is table styling? Like, how would you even define table styling? What is this?
uh, so table styling is nothing but setting up your table beautifully. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I would add my 2 bits to it. I would do it with things. I mean, my favorite is to do it with things that I have around the house,
Hmm.
and yeah, and just using what you have in different and innovative ways.
Okay, so you're saying table styling is the ability to use things you find around your house and just sort of setting up the table. Okay,
Setting up your
so
table.
from like a career perspective, how have you made this a career, right? Like, so is there a service? Is there a product? Like, what exactly do you sell?
So we have 3 different verticals, Vibha. One is the workshops, which is my favorite. Uh, so we do table styling workshops. We have different themes from time to time. We've gone offline or online right now. We used to do physical workshops. We've really done the length and breadth of the country. Uh, when I say length and breadth, I've really gone to the interiors, even places which have no airports, and I've really
Oh,
done
wow.
that. Yeah, it's been a lovely journey.
So th there is an
Um,
audience for you in like smaller tier two cities and towns
Yes,
and stuff as well,
sure,
huh?
sure. Yes, yes, absolutely. And sorry, Vibha, I lost you. I
So
think I
you were
went a little.
explaining you were explaining the workshop. So
Yeah,
the
okay.
three
Yeah,
segments
so
to the
then they
business.
have different themes, okay? Then we have the product category where we have a very small curated line of table decor accessories.
Okay.
Most of our products, Vibha, will go with most homes, it's
Okay.
just small mix and matches just to add on to your tables, yeah, just those little detailing. um a lot of effort has gone into kind of creating this line just to make sure that you know um everybody might not be able to put things together, so our products make it very easy for you to tie up what you have at home together.
Okay.
We also have DIY kits. So they are like just a bunch of things put together that help you create a look at home.
So
Um,
they're sort of
and most of them
preset packaged
looks,
goods. Okay.
yes, yes, yes. And it won't take you more than 5 to 7 minutes, and your tables will look pretty, you know.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, yeah, they're
So
very
that's the
handy,
workshops
especially
and
for those
the okay.
the products. And we also do events. So for special occasions, if somebody wants to just style their tables, we also do that.
Okay, wow. So you formalize this into a business with three pretty distinct verticals. This sounds quite interesting. Maybe let's pick on each of the verticals, and you could just go a little bit deeper into this, so the audience can even understand, how do you take a creative career that sort of sounds abstract, but actually be able to formalize into three very distinctive verticals. So let's take the workshops, right?
Sure.
So what you said 220 workshops. If you could just tell us what kind
Yeah.
of themes you've done, how do you market these
Okay.
workshops? How is this vertical sort of put together?
Sure. So basically, currently we've had like celebration workshop, which is a mixed theme workshop, and we have a high tea workshop. Both these were a part of our physical workshops. Currently, we've introduced Asian theme workshops. I
Wow.
realize that Asian theme is very popular now. A lot of people are doing a lot of Thai, Chinese. So we have an Asian theme workshop, and then we have a workshop with everyday objects where we are literally using everything from like very basic home things and getting it on the table and making it more interesting. And uh, another one that we just introduced for Diwali was the Indian Festive workshop.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that's something that goes well for Diwali and, also for a small mehendi or Karwa Chauth or, a little bit
Okay.
of a
So
more traditional touch.
you thematize the workshop basis sort of like local culture, festivals, etc. Okay. Great. And how do you put these workshops out? Like how do you market such a workshop? How do people find
Um,
out about you?
so initially it was word of mouth, but now it's only social media, Vibha.
Oh wow.
I do use social media quite extensively, um, and it's mainly through that we get our audience. I
Oh
would say
wow.
95% would be through that.
Okay, guys, for any of
So,
you who are not following Dining Couture on Instagram, on other platforms, please make sure you do follow them because I'm an active follower and I've been able to pick up few tips. I'm not very good with my hands, as Ami knows, but still her designs and her placements are quite accessible. And she also sells the DIY kits. Let's touch a little bit upon the product business, if you could. What sort of
sure.
products, how expensive are these products? How does one purchase them from you?
Okay. Um, so our products start at 350 rupees, Vibha. And
Oh,
I think
okay.
the most expensive, yeah, barring the kits are because they are like a couple of products put together. They are a little more expensive. Those start at 2,500, um, and the kits go up to 3,750, I
Can
think.
you
And
reuse the
the
kits? Like, are the kits
yeah,
reusable or is it a
yeah,
one? It is.
yeah.
Okay.
Most of the things are, unless your paper napkins or something like that, you might run out of, but most of the other things are reusable.
Oh, okay.
That's the advantage of it. And then you can add your bits to it and make it more personalized over a period of time also. Um, and also, yeah, and I think our products, the most expensive product is probably 2,500. So they're not very expensive, Vibha.
Okay. So very
Yeah,
accessible. You talked about the
yeah,
DIY kits.
yeah.
What sort of other products are you selling?
So we have lovely table mats right now. I think that's something I'm very happy about because I find sourcing table mats in the country very challenging.
Mhm.
So we have table mats, we have place card holders, we have some decor pieces. We had gorgeous unlis for Diwali, some candle stands. Um, yeah.
Okay. If there's anything around you and you want to showcase anything that you'd like to, just let me know and we'd be happy to do a quick demo
Um,
display.
Come. I do. I kept it
Oh, you
ready.
do?
I
Oh,
I
okay.
knew that
Wow.
was coming.
Okay, exciting.
Shall we
Show
do
us
it
what
at
you
the
have.
end, Vibha? Sorry,
Yeah,
can we
sure.
do it
Okay.
at the end because the camera
Okay,
angle.
sure.
Huh?
Okay,
We'll
great. But
come
thank you
back to
for,
it for
yeah.
sure.
Okay, this is exciting. Now waiting in some mean fashion for the end of the show because I'm dying to see what you've got set up. Okay, so that's the product business and a little bit about the events business. So what sort of events and like how is that a business?
Um, so events are mainly paid events, so it's pure business. Um, we've done a few interesting events. We've done something very special for BMW. We did something for them in Gurgaon. It was 100 people sit down dinner. So that was
Oh wow.
like the biggest table I have ever done. It was a very well curated dinner. Um, and yeah, I had the opportunity to style the table for that.
So a
And
hundred people use BMW asked you to come and style the table for their guests.
yeah, 100 people, sorry. Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Wow.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
What else?
So, um, there's some other events that I have done. I did something for Zoya. It's a jewelry brand by Tata.
Sure.
So they were launching a product line, a new jewelry line, and they had done a very interesting dinner with Maria Goretti and Love Fools together. And there's a four-course sit-down dinner again, um, which also had the opportunity to style. So I have done
Okay,
uh,
I mean, I don't know if you recall, but you were kind enough to invite me to that dinner, and I can vouch for the fact that, in addition to obviously Zoya's jewelry and Maria's food and all of that, like the setup, even before the food was served or the jewelry was showcased, what first catches your eye was the way you had done up the table, and that sort of set the mood for the rest of the evening. So I think fabulous job there. I mean, that was just, absolutely amazing and breathtaking. At par with jewelry. If you can sort of set up a table that looks just as gorgeous as their jewelry, then that's really a statement, and that's actually what you had done. So amazing job there. You want to share
thank
something
you.
else on the events that you've done?
Mm, yeah, so we've also had these were just events for these were just decor opportunities for events. What we've also done, we've collaborated with some brands for our workshops. So we've done a table styling workshop for Good Earth in Chennai
Okay.
when they were launching one of their collection. So
Okay.
that just kind of gives the audience an opportunity to see how the products can be displayed in different ways and how they actually look off the shelf,
I
when they
see.
are styled on the table. So we've done that with Good Earth.
So
Another
basically,
jewelry,
for a layperson like me, if I see the setup, then I'll know what to do with their teacups and their pots and how to sort of make it
yeah,
look
yeah.
okay. Okay, all right. So you're making it
Yeah, and
accessible for
also
the
probably
customer.
mix and match. I think I just love mixing and matching crockery and products. And since it was at Good Earth and they had so much crockery and variety, I was able to do that, which also gives people an idea as to how what they have at home, which probably have
Hmm,
been purchased over a period of time, Vibha, can be used together and
I
it can
see.
yet look nice and different.
Okay, terrific. All right. So thank you for
Yeah.
breaking down sort of, those three verticals. Um, I want to understand, the creative process of, table styling. Like, for someone like me who's completely like not, in that mind space, if you had to just break it down for a lay person like me and say, look, here are like the three things to take care of, or the five things that if you're going to style a table, here's what you should be at the minimum level looking at. So what would those be?
Okay. Um, okay. You'll first start with your mats. Yeah. You may or may not have a tablecloth.
Okay.
Uh,
So
then your
tablecloths
plate.
are not essential. Tablecloths don't come
Yeah.
under the essential
Yeah.
category. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mats also maybe not, but I would now just put it as a basic. You do
Okay.
need that. Um,
So the
then you have the
mat is
dinner.
like the foundation of makeup, right? You put the
Yeah, it
mat and
says
that's your sort of
yes. Yeah,
okay.
it's your base. Yeah.
Okay.
Then you have your dinner plate.
Okay.
You may or may not have your side plate, your cutlery, your napkins, and your glass. So
Okay.
now this is essential. And maybe towards the end, when we are doing the setup, I'll just add like a few basics and show how it. I've just removed one set of plates to show how the same set of plates will look different on different occasions.
Ah,
So
okay, cool.
maybe
So
I
when
can connect this to that when we take that up.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, so these are sort of the base level essentials. Okay, and how do you think of like color and concept? Like how does the creative mind work? I'm always so curious to understand how do you come up with these looks? Every time I look at one of your pictures on Instagram, I'm just like, how did you do that? And then you do it again, and you do it again. Four times a week I have this aha moment where I'm like, how is she doing this? So now that I have you pinned down here, I want to understand how do you do this? How do you come up with your concepts?
It's very easy. I'll tell you, Vibha. So every time we have a brief from a client,
Yeah.
you jump into their shoes, right? You look at it from their perspective. Each client is different. Each occasion is different. So you just personalize each one's decor needs, each one's depending on the occasion, depending on the vibe of their homes, you just get a feel of what they will appreciate and what they will not. It's like you having a student coming and you just have to personalize the program for the child. It's exactly
Right.
the same. So then
Okay.
each one with a different characteristic will help you just create differently.
Okay. So what I want to understand is like, some of those Instagram images you put up, which is you essentially tinkering around with, stuff that you have lying around. How do you put it together? Like, when you're putting three objects together, are there some sort of fundamental rules of table styling, or, are you looking at contrasting colors? Like, what are some of the basic foundation rules that one could take away from here?
Um, a couple of things that I'll keep in mind is colors,
Okay.
heights, um,
Heights.
uh,
Can you explain that a bit? What is heights?
um, so okay, so look at the buffet table. Yeah. If I'm doing decor on a buffet table, I would want my decor to be at different heights. I
Okay.
don't want, so if I'm using vases with flowers, I don't want the vases with flowers at the same level.
As the
I
food.
want them, no, for the decor
Okay.
or
So
even
the
for the
food.
food. It'll be great if
Okay.
you can create height even while serving food because it just gives you, it just does not make your eyes stop at one level, right? It just makes
Ah,
you go through the whole table, you just want to see what's going on. If it's all flat, your eyes just stop at one place. So,
okay. Okay. So you're sort of breaking the eye with the different heights. You mentioned
yeah.
color. You mentioned height. What
Um,
else?
lighting, like
Lighting. Okay.
whether you use candles, not use candles, because candles do add a lot. It's a very simple, basic uh, decor piece, but it really is very impactful, I feel. I love using fresh flowers, Vibha, and yeah,
Okay. So the elements I've got are color, height, flowers, and lights.
yeah.
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 If
Then
if you if
also
you had to
depends
just
on the theme or the occasion. You probably want to get in some fun elements to like personalize it or
okay. So
um
some fun
yeah,
elements. Okay.
yeah,
Since
yeah.
we're on that topic, is there anything that's coming to mind about, an event you did, or something you set up for someone that had a fun element? Like if you could just describe what is a fun element.
Okay, many. So if you're doing like a 40th birthday or a 30th birthday, you want to do quotes, you want to do birthday quotes, you want to maybe you have nicknames for that person, you probably want to uh, have those. And it doesn't, Vibha, have to be a fun element, right? It can also be something that that person relates to. So, if somebody is there's someone who loves traveling, someone who loves nature, someone who loves the um, food, you try and bring a little bit of all of that on your table.
Ah, I see. Oh, wow. Okay. So you're saying you pick up on the person's personality traits and
Yeah,
introduce them
yeah,
on the table. Okay, wow. That
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
fascinating.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's move on and let's perhaps take an audience question here from Sabahat Hurzuk, who says, what are some of the must-haves at every setting now post-COVID? Okay, Sabahat, thank you for that question. I'm just going to tweak it a bit and just ask, how is life, in the last 6 months for you in your career? How has the lockdown impacted your career, if at all?
No, it was a big shift in career from traveling 4 times, 5 times a week to being at home for the longest ever time. And we were fortunate enough to switch our workshops online. So we've gone online since April. So
Oh, wow.
all our workshops have been online. Surprisingly, we have had a lot of queries for to travel already. We are not yet ready for that, Papa.
Okay.
But online workshops have worked very well because the audience is much larger. I'm not just restricted to that particular city. It's opened up the whole world for me. So we've had a lot of participants from US, Japan, Thailand, so from a lot of different countries. And not only Indian, but even like people of other origins, which has been very interesting. And yeah, so and also I think lockdown has kind of forced people to be at home, spend time at home more with family. I think it's made the dinner time special. I feel I just see a lot more people wanting to take up these workshops, a lot more people doing table styling at home also. We like our inbox is flooded with messages from people sharing images of what they've done at their
Wow.
homes and yeah, asking us for how they can tweak it or so I just see a lot of enthusiasm towards table decor.
Okay.
I also feel it is very important to have a pretty table to sit for dinner or for any meal because I just feel you eat with your eyes first and you
Right.
just feel so content and happy when your table's prettily laid out. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so I definitely feel that has been a
A
um,
positive uptake, huh?
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's I mean that sounds incredible. If you're, it's actually opened up access to you and your workshops for people outside of India. So I mean the audience should be actually thankful that people from Thailand and the United States are now able to get to experience your workshop. I remember getting a first-hand experience of one of your workshops and being completely stunned by how simple it was. Actually, I remember the wine bottles and the candle. I mean, I was like, okay, this took me like 15 seconds to put three wine bottles and three candles in them, and it added the color element and it added the height element. And as you said, like people eat with their eyes, and it really did make a big shift. So thank you so much for that. Just going to read out a quick compliment from Uf Uf Mirchi, who says your attention to detail is fantastic, Ami. Thank you. Also have a compliment here from Shri Priya Karnani, who says so happy to see two of my favorites on this platform. Hey Shri Priya, we're both happy to see you here, and Ami, Shri Priya and I have shared many beautiful tables at Ami's house. And when she says she is into hospitality, I think that's an understatement because if you're fortunate enough to be Ami's friend and get invited to her place, I mean, it's it's like an incredible experience. From the second you walk into the home, from the table, the dining table to the side table to even the bathroom, the whole experience is curated so beautifully. I mean, truly, it's a delight to be invited over to your home, and you make it all seem so sort of understated, and your modesty obviously shines through that as well. All right, so let's continue a little bit about you spoke about clients, so we also have a question here from of Mirchi, who says, "Do you just follow client instructions or play with your creativity?" Okay, this is very interesting. This is something actually I had touched upon with you earlier. How do you balance
Yeah,
this? Your client and
yeah.
your creativity, and how does that
Um,
happen?
no, I mean, of course, I take the brief from clients and then I incorporate my creativity to that. Um, you, of course, definitely respect what the client wants, their choice, their preferences. And then you are there. I mean, the reason they have taken your services is because they want you to use your creativity. So you merge the two to get the best results.
Okay, so you
So,
have to sort of, yeah, go for this.
yeah. So, I'll tell you this one. It's a very tricky situation back then. Today I can look back and I feel quite happy about it. So there was a client. Look, also what happens for us, it's just another event. Okay. For the client, it's the event. It can be their daughter's engagement. Um, it can be a milestone birthday. It can be an
Sure.
anniversary. So it is a special occasion for them. For you, it's just your work and it's another event. So from that point of view, I would really definitely respect what the client wants. Um, so I was in a situation where a client had seen my work at another place, which was just another party. They were just having a dinner, a housewarming party. Okay, and all the decor was white and a little rustic and more Western. Yeah, with a lot of fairy lights, candles, liliums, and uh, yeah, so a mix of flowers and more
And
Western.
lights.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, and like hydrangeas, you know. And then they were having an engagement and they wanted us to take up the event. Um, and they wanted a traditional, but they wanted they wanted me to do exactly the same.
Ah, okay.
Okay, because it's an engagement, you want the traditional look, but you've seen that, you love that, and you want that. Now this
Hmm.
is the only occasion that you have, you know, at home, and you want to do what you love. And we were in such a fix because this wouldn't have gone with a traditional feel. So
Sure. Okay.
ultimately, we reached a midpoint where we didn't take the traditional colors. When I mean traditional colors and traditional flowers are your marigolds, your orange marigolds, your yellow marigolds. We drifted away from those. We stuck to the Western decor that they like in parts of the house. And in parts of the house, we just went with whites and greens, like in Rajnigandhas and Mograss. So we toned it down completely, Vibha. Uh, that made the client happy, and it kind of
Okay.
saved our, because at the end of it, you want to deliver what a design that you relate to,
Sure.
you
Okay.
know.
So
So
it probably gets tricky here, huh?
it does sometimes, but you just work your way around. There's so much
Okay.
available, Vibha, that it is not difficult to work around.
Okay. So since we're on the topic of, there's so much around, I want to understand, what do you use? So what sort of product do you use, and where do you source product from? And, how do you know what to use? How do I as a layperson know what I should use?
So the lockdown has about taught me to use everything that I have at home, including even picking up sticks from my morning walks, and I
Oh,
have also come back with a bark, a coconut bark, and yeah, I've walked with it from PDP to home, and yeah, so because in during the lockdown, we really I was really stuck with for resources, but we all know we have to get going and we have to keep our Insta page alive, right? So we had to put our posts up. So I've really used stones. I've used rocks
wow.
on my tables, and people have loved that. And I was really apprehensive about putting it. But I've really seen whenever I'm like nervous and apprehensive about putting up an image, those are like the
The
most
ones that,
appreciated. Yeah. So yeah.
wow. So you
So
you literally
really
picked up like basic elements
things.
from nature.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So there was one collab that we did, and the flower market just went off, and I just didn't get anything nice, Vibha. And I was feeling very guilty because this brand from Calcutta had sent me these gorgeous plates, and they wanted me to style it and put it up on Instagram, and I
Sure.
wasn't able to do that. Um, and then just I was super nervous. What I did is I just went out for a walk. I picked up some um, leaves from the road, and I came back. I created a table, and I folded some paper boats, and that became my decor element, and it was very well appreciated.
Wow. Making the
So
most of everything, and it's sounding almost like you can make a table stylish with pretty much stuff that's just easily available from nature.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, great. want to touch a little bit upon, trends. What trends are you seeing currently? What is going on, in the styling space, and where do you pick up on trends from? Like, where do you spot trends? How do you spot trends?
Um, I am not somebody who follows a lot of trends, Vibha. At the same time, I do keep myself up to date with what's going on around the world. So I do look at decor trends around the world. Um, and I honestly also take inspiration from fashion trends, you know. Um, Apart from them, travel helps you keep being updated with what's available. And yeah, currently they're using a lot of dry flowers, a lot of dry grass. So yeah.
You're saying travel helps you keep updated. How does that happen? I mean, I travel all
Um,
the time, but I don't come back with a creative aha moment. So I'm clearly missing out on something. Tell me what to look out for next time I travel.
um, you just I don't know how I can describe it, Vibha, but you're walking around the streets, you're walking around in the stores, you look at their windows, their window display, and you just want to pick up something from that and bring it on your table, Vibha.
Okay. Okay. Clearly, I don't have an eye for this, and we should probably do a trip together. And maybe that can be vertical four, where you do tours with Ami Kothari, and you can teach people how to have your eyes, because you truly have a gift. Have a compliment here from my Ikigai, who says always doing amazing. Thank you, me Ikigai or my Ikigai.
Me,
Uh, Me Ikigai. And compliment here from
thank
Hira,
you.
who says, Ami, I'm a big fan of your decor, very creative and stylish. Of course, thank you so much for that compliment. I mean, who inspires you? Who is your inspiration? Clearly, you inspire several people, including me. Who inspires you? Have you ever thought of that?
Wow, no, Vibha.
No, 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 no specific person or
No, I think it's everybody around you, Vibha. I think inspiration just comes from everybody and everywhere. Just as I told you, my morning walk on a rainy morning gave me an inspiration for a table setting with those paper boats, you know. So I just think it just comes from everywhere around you.
it just comes from everyone around you? Okay, want to also understand, from a career perspective, what are some of the, traits that someone should have to, be successful in this career? Like I clearly told you, I don't even have this eye. So other than the eye, what else do you need? Like, what do you need to be a successful table stylist?
Um, So, of course, a creative eye. But apart from that, I think it requires a lot of organizing, planning, um, thinking out of the box, Vibha. You might be in a situation where you've done something, you plan for a look, and you suddenly don't have those flowers available. You don't have one of the material that you planned for available. It's
Oh,
very important at that point for you to kind of come up with a good enough alternative. Like I was working on a magazine shoot for Good Homes magazine. This was a couple of years ago, and actually one of the pictures made it to the cover page of the magazine.
oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, yeah. But even though there's another one that made it to the cover page, this one remains my favorite. We had planned on a particular look, and I just wake up in the morning and I'm like, no, everything's looking too similar. Let's just go a little out of the box. So I get in touch with the team and I ask them, I want to paint some veggies and I want to put them across the table. And this is like a good 4 years ago. I want to paint the vegetables. I want to put them on the table and, I think it'll look quite nice. And they were kind enough to just give me a free hand. So we use a macram as a runner and then we painted pumpkins of different colors. Um, and the table just turned out beautiful. So, it just, because I was thinking everything was becoming floral and similar, I just thought this would be a good change. And it just worked out really different and nice, you know. So just to be able to think out of the box, Vibha.
Okay. So the ability to think out of the box.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself, on the spectrum of, you said, you're managing people and you're managing these clients, like, and you're also trying to be creative, right? So how much of your work is sort of creative and how much of the work you feel is like, oh, I have to run this sort of as a business? Where is that balance?
Ah, really tough, Vibha. But honestly, I don't look at this at work on most days. It's just because it's a passion turned hobby. Um, I don't think I've ever woken up thinking, oh my God, I don't want to do this. Even if I've done like 4 a.m. flights twice a week, it's never felt like that, Vibha. So I'm not going to be able to answer this for you.
Okay, so it's actually so interesting you say that it's passion driven, because I've had so many guests say this, whether it's, cybersecurity or photography or even online gaming, everyone talks foremost about passion and how once you're passionate about something, it's no longer work. And
Work.
yeah, this actually, resonates with me because as an entrepreneur, if I wasn't passionate about educating people and sort of showcasing career journeys on it, like otherwise it would seem so cumbersome. So I think big takeaway for everyone here is whatever we follow, let's do it with our utmost passion. All right.
Yeah.
On that note of passion, are we ready to see what you have in store for us?
Sure, would love to. Just give me a minute. And sorry.
This is a secret unveiling, guys, the moment we've been waiting for. I even
Oops.
cut short my questions so that I could feast my eyes on this one. Oh my God.
Uh, okay. So, okay, this is a table mat that I have. It's a part of our collection, Vibha, and I really like the detailing.
Is this available now?
Yeah, it is. It is. Pretty now. Now,
Very
only thing
pretty.
is, I'm not able to capture the whole. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
this is
we can
probably
see it. We can
better.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm? Um, okay, so I have my basic mat and my plate here in place. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I'm going to add a side plate, which is not a part of this collection, but
Okay.
it goes. And you know, this particular side plate, when I've got it as a gift actually, and it comes in four different colors. But
Okay.
so they're all pastels, so I don't hesitate in using them together, even if it's four different plates together, four different colors. It yet blends in quite well. Um, you know, for any of the things that I'm talking about, and if I refer to my old work, y'all can get anybody from the audience can feel free in getting in touch with me, and I'm happy to share the references also, Vibha.
Okay. Awesome. So the mats you're saying are part of your current collection, right? Like
Yeah,
someone could
yeah,
purchase them from you.
yes.
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay.
Okay,
So we've got
so
the
now,
basic. You said a mat, a primary plate, and then a side plate. Okay.
yes, and then I have my cutlery. Okay, now I have my napkin here. I'm just gonna
Okay. So
option
just a
number
quick
one.
quick question on the cutlery.
Huh.
I noticed you weren't sort of fanatic about, like the French about how much distance and stuff. So do you typically would you measure distance from the plate and stuff,
No,
or do you just sort of place them?
so honestly, I'm somebody who also puts my fork and spoon together. I'm somebody who also not necessarily keep my glass on the right and probably place it even on the left because I just feel a
Okay.
lot of these rules were made in the West to suit their culture.
Okay,
So
sure.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we
Huh?
can break away
Okay,
from
so
that tradition. Fine.
here I want to highlight the plate and hence I've tucked the napkin under the plate. Huh? Another option would be I'll remove this and I just have this little card which is made of clay. It just says love. So it's not
Okay.
a place card, but just a little sweet card just to add a detailing. I've tied it with a jute string and I place it here.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah?
Sabina Hamid, of course, very pretty, absolutely very pretty. Okay.
Okay. One more option would be I'll get this napkin out and just using white with this crochet detailing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything here is very pretty, so crochet also goes well. And I'm just going to roll this napkin.
So Aparna Chand says, I love pastels and can't wait to share my own styling in this week itself. Aparna, waiting to see what
Yay!
you come up with as well.
Yes, even I
Uh,
would love to see Aparna.
and Ami
Um,
Aparna says she's been following you, and there she says, Ami is amazing. I have always loved her work from my days in Bombay. Thank you, Aparna,
oh,
for that compliment.
thank you. And so I have a place card with a little neck ribbon and just
Hmm.
going to tie it here. So it just becomes a little personalized place setting for your guests. And people love to see their names on the plate, on the setting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, nice. Okay, you just actually, you make it look easy. Um,
But it is easy, I promise you.
I think what's really obviously standing out is the quality of the product. You just have the right mat, and then you pick the right colors, and
Yeah,
as you talk,
yeah.
about the height. Okay, I have a question here. From Let's take this question. Charming Desert Rose. I like that handle. How do you table style with less budget? How do you do that? I mean, is there an answer to this?
Sorry, Vibha, I lost you in the process of
So she's
trying to set
so
the.
uh, she's asking about how to table style with less budget. So basis the budgets you had shared, it seemed like the products were not that expensive, right? But if you want to just
Yeah,
talk a little bit about budgeting.
yeah, yeah. It's not about expensive things. It's about using what you have. Keep the aim to make your table look pretty, number one. Number two, but more important, to make your guests feel special.
Hmm.
Uh, and what I used here was like a jute string, a little piece of paper, and a little clay heart. It really
Sure.
doesn't take anything. It just made it a little more elaborate and a little more special. Here is literally nothing, just a little ribbon with a place card.
Sure.
Um, I honestly don't use very expensive crockery, or I use a lot of basic stuff, but
So,
it's just
so
these
a lot of
different
people,
elements.
are loving the mats. Hira says your table mat is out of the world. Chaya Modi, I want these leaf mats. Ami, so do I. I want these leaf mats too.
Most of
The
you are
per
getting it.
Thank you. The Perfect Hostess by Priyanka says this is really fuss free and inviting. Absolutely, I agree. Look totally fuss free and very inviting. Priyanka Kelly Design says beautiful. Question on the mats. So how much are the mats for? Do you want to share some pricing
Um,
here, or should I ask people to get in touch with you separately?
Um, yeah, I think they are 950 for two, but they can DM us for
Okay.
details.
Okay, so guys, just DM Ami on Dining Couture on her Instagram handle, and obviously, in addition to the mats, she has a whole range of product. She's also doing a workshop this Saturday. This is the Asian workshop, right, Ami, on
Yeah,
Saturday?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's
So why do you
Asian
pick
with
Asian? Like, why Asian? Like, what is sort of the trend that sort of took you to Asian? What are you seeing in the market?
so I just do feel a lot of people have taken to a lot of Asian food like sushi and dim sums and Thai curry, rice, noodles. So I just thought it'd be nice to do that. And along
Huh.
with that, we like do different ways to serve your food. So everyone might have like the same kind of crockery for serving the food. But again, using basic things, how you can spruce it up. And I promise you, it's as basic as something that I use today.
Okay, guys, stay tuned
So,
for this workshop. It sounds exciting, and I think there are still a few spots open. So if anyone's interested, please do contact her. Going to take a quick question here from Charming Desert Rose, who says, "How to accessorize the table with different props for Diwali party?" Okay, Diwali is over, but I'm presuming you still. I mean, you want to give her a quick tip on like Diwali or traditional sort of setup?
Yeah, so bring out your ullis, bring out your diyas, your mitti diyas, a few marigolds, and literally play around with them. I'd really love you to go to my page. We have done a few videos and a lot of pictures styling for Diwali.
Okay. All right. I hope that answered your question. Gonna take one more question from Aparna since she is a big fan and following you. And this is actually something that I wanted to ask you as well. Thanks, Aparna, for putting this up. Next major trend in table styling for 2021. So, what have you got your eyes on? What is the future looking like?
Uh,
Let's rub the crystal ball and see what's going on in 2021.
So trying to be more sustainable. We
Hmm.
have been heading towards that and move further towards that. And so that's one. Using a lot of dry flowers.
What is sustainability in table styling? So is it the jute and the leaves and stuff you talked about, or is it something else?
Yeah, so it's jute, leaves. So I've done an event where someone said, "Oh, I don't want to spend on flowers. I don't want to spend on things that's just going to last me 2 nights." So we've actually done decor with plants, like potted
Oh, okay.
plants. Yeah. So that can be sustainability. There are a lot of brands now, even in India, who are doing like environmentally friendly, natural material table mats and coasters and a lot of other accessories. So that, and I mean, even if it might not be a very sustainable item that you probably already have at home, okay? So you already spent on it, you've already done the damage, right? So instead of going out and buying a new product, just reuse that in a different way. I think that's also sustainable enough, Vibha, for me.
Okay. So yeah, I guess just reusing something, it's sort of like if you're recycling a product, that in itself is sustainability. Okay, Aparna, I
Yeah.
hope that answered your question. And yes, thank you for joining the sessions, Aparna. I'm glad to have you on the show as well every time. Ami, any closing words for the audiences? Any sort of final words, final tip on styling, anything you want to share with people as you sign off?
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's a weekday. We've all just got back to work after Diwali. Um, from around the house with the main aim of making your guest feel special. Um, and I promise you won't go wrong.
All right. So try to make your guests feel special. Ami, thank you for that. And you absolutely and every time do make us feel special. I hope I was able to make you feel a little bit special on my show today as my guest. I couldn't set up the table for you, but I tried to set up a conversation for you. And but I have learned this from you about how do you make somebody feel special. It really is something that comes naturally to you, and you are truly blessed with this gift. Probably comes from your parents who are just as warm and welcoming as you are. Quick comments here from Priyanka, who says, "Thank you so much for this amazing session." Thank you, Priyanka, for joining. Uh, Perfect Hostess says, "Thanks for sharing your hard-earned experiences with us. Keep shining." Amit, truly thanks for that.
Thank you.
Ashid says,
Thank you.
"Thank you." Manisha sends a bunch of hearts. I'm seeing a lot of hearts coming into the chat. All right, guys, going to let Ami sign off now. Thank you, Ami, for joining us. And guys, please do follow Dining Couture so that you can stay tuned to Ami's upcoming products, workshops, and events. Thank you, Ami, for sharing your warmth and for your hospitality with us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vibha, for having me here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that brings us to the end of House of Experts. And stay tuned for our next guest episode coming up next week. A very, very, very interesting industry. And I'm going to just leak the industry. The industry is private jets. So, for anyone who wants to learn about the business of private jets, stay tuned and have a good evening, guys. We'll look forward to seeing you very soon. Yes, Mahima saying this live will be shared on Reach IV. If you could follow Reach IV, you can follow me, Vibha Kagzi, and the live will be shared on both platforms. And it's also available on our website at Reach IV. It's also on Spotify. So if you go to Spotify, go to House of Experts, all 30 plus episodes are available on Spotify. All right, guys, have a good evening. Signing off now. Thank you.